everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. Today, I have what I think is it's going to be a fairly long video for you guys, I figure, just because we're going to go do a full breakdown of DC Studios, or DCU Studios, whatever, Phase 1 breakdown. So I'm going to divide this up into parts. I think there's like 6 parts or something like that in this video. They're all going to have timestamps and everything. You can go into the description, find where you want to go. If you want to talk about something specific, if you want to just talk about the shows, talk about the movies, talk about overall stuff, or if you want to stay for the whole thing, please do. I'd love to have you, because we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try and do my best to try and go over all the news that came from this Phase 1 this Phase 1 that was introduced for DC. As many people know, if you've watched the channel before, I'm a big DC fan. Love DC, love Batman, love Superman, love all those characters. So this is a lot for me. I mean, I know people are kind of crapping on it in some corners of the internet, but for me, I love it. I love all of it. I'm so excited for everything that they got here, that they presented, or James Gunn presented today, or not today, but yesterday. So I'm excited to get going with it all, and starting out with part 1 here, which is going to be the introduction. Just going to be our introduction and kind of miscellaneous information, just a few things that I want to preface before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of what was shown by James Gunn. So starting with here, Tuesday, January 31st, the press released the new DC Studios Phase 1 plan from James Gunn and Peter Safran. And a plan, oh my god, this plan is amazing. It's crazy. I'm so genuinely excited for everything that they got going on here, and you know, I was so overwhelmed. I'm like scrolling through Instagram, reloading Instagram constantly over and over throughout the day. And when I finally saw it, I'm like, everything hit at once. And I was just like, oh my god, I was so thrown off. And I had to look for everything and trying to get all the information that I possibly could, as quickly as I could. And here is me trying to explain all that information and give my thoughts on that information. So I'm doing my best. Anyways, DC Studios will include a linear 8 to 10 year story so far, quote so far here, plan, including live-action television shows, animated shows, live-action movies, animated movies, and video games, which are all going to be intertwined in one linear story. First off, love that idea. Amazing idea. Having every piece of DC content when it comes to video games, animation, movies, and shows, and as well as live-action shows and movies, having it all be intertwined and all connected is a great idea. I think that's a really great idea, so you can just kind of like play different mediums and watch different mediums of these stories, and they all kind of mean something to the overarching story that they're building with this 8 to 10 year plan. Again, quoted so far here. Or not quoted, but like so far. That's out there. Next, we have the DC Studios characters will jump from live action to animation with the same actors and actresses voicing or playing that character. That is also another thing that I absolutely love. Currently, we don't really have much information on any cast lists or anything like that. Matter of fact, I don't think we have any information at the time of this recording. We don't know who's going to play Batman, who's going to play Superman, etc. We only know a few actors who may be returning and stick around for this new plan, but any brand new actors for characters that we've seen before, we do not know of. But let's just say, I don't know. For example, one of the people who might be sticking around is Jason Momoa. So Jason Momoa as presumably Aquaman, not Lobo, as some people were speculating, and I also was speculating. Jason Momoa would be playing Aquaman it would be voicing Aquaman in an animated movie. Then you would see him in live action in a live action TV show, and then you would see him, jump to a video game. You'd be able to play as Aquaman in a video game, and it'd be voiced by Jason Momoa. Love the idea. Amazing idea. That also brings me to my next point. Certain actors, such as Ezra Miller, supposedly, Jason Momoa, Zachary Levi, and I think there was one other. I don't have it on my note. I think they said Gal Gadot. I read somewhere, but I don't believe that's correct, just because of the projects that are coming up for related to Wonder Woman in this first phase. But those actors will potentially stick around for the future of the DC universe here. So we're going to be seeing Ezra Miller, The Flash. We're going to be seeing Zachary Levi's Shazam and Jason Momoa's Aquaman, potentially in this new phase. Those actors may stay. Meanwhile, actors like Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot will most likely, well, we know about Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. Gal Gadot, I'm very confident, will most likely be replaced by someone new to play Wonder Woman, which I'm fine with. I love this idea. I'm fine with keeping a few characters. Oh, and also the Suicide Squad characters. Some of the Suicide Squad characters, I believe, are also going to stay. I would figure Idris Elba's Bloodsport, I forget who played Ratcatcher 2, but she would probably stick around, I'd figure. Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. John Cena is Peacemaker. Those kinds of characters, those Suicide Squad-related characters, will most likely stay, as well as Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I don't know for certain. There was nothing said that I've read on it, but I would think they would keep Margot Robbie because, Margot Robbie kind of owns that role right now. So, those are certain actors who are going to potentially stick around for this DC universe. DCU projects will vary in ratings. This is also a very nice surprise that James Gunn, I believe, talked about, or I read something somewhere about, where you could be seeing PG-13 films, you could be seeing R movies. I figure there's probably going to be some PG movies maybe sprinkled in there, I guess. I don't know. I'd be surprised if we see any G-rated movies, but we'll see. Anyways, so different ratings for their different projects, which I think is interesting. Love that idea. Marvel doesn't really do that. There's no real, rated R Marvel movie in the MCU. So in the DCU, it sounds like we were going to be getting that, which I appreciate. A little bit more of a serious story, a little bit more of an adult story that they can do a little bit more with. I do like the sound of that. Then we have DCU projects not connected directly to the DCU storyline will be considered DC Elseworld projects. I have a whole section later on in this video that I will be getting into discussing the Elseworld projects. And then a couple final points here. The Superman movie will directly begin the DCU technically. That'll be the first movie that they start phase 1 with, while these first 4 movies of 2023 are, how I kind of categorize it, was that these first 4 movies of 2023 will be like phase 0 of the DCU, because they are also going to supposedly from the rumors I've been hearing and different stuff on Instagram and stuff like that those movies will actually play some roles in the future movies that the DCU will be bringing on here. So that's also very interesting. I'm going to have to make sure to watch Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. So that's very cool. Oh, and also Blue Beetle might be sticking around as well. The actor, Sholo Marcana, I don't know if that's correct. I know he was in Cobra Kai, but that actor who plays Blue Beetle, I believe, will also stick around. Hopefully. I would love to see him stick around, because Blue Beetle's such a great character. Anyways, the final point I want to make here on this kind of overarching miscellaneous information is that Phase 1 of the DCU will be titled, and it will be titled Gods and Monsters, consisting of 5 movies and 5 TV shows. Or not TV shows, but HBO Max shows, but still. Amazing. I like how that our phases are our chapters in this case. He really kind of called it a chapter. I call it a phase, but Chapter 1 is actually branded. It's titled as Gods and Monsters, while Marvel just kind of does Phase 1, Phase 2, and just names their sagas. DCU will be naming their chapters. I like that idea. And again, this chapter is named Gods and Monsters. So that's kind of our overarching information, just kind of little things that I wanted to include here to kind of start the video off. Now let's get into how will the previous DCEU connect to this new DCU. I want to kind of make a little section on this as well here. So here we go. All right, part 2 here is how will the previous DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, connect to this new DC Universe or DC Studios universe. I want to make this part here because I want to kind of talk about how the previous movies will be interacting with these newer movies and what is going to kind of transfer over, what's kind of not, and go into a little bit more detail with that. So, starting off, James Gunn, I believe, said in the video, or I'd read somewhere, something along those lines about people just talking about this stuff, Ezra Miller's Flash movie, which is, a very controversial movie at this point, will supposedly restart the DC universe, paving the way for this DC universe plan, basically, the James Gunn story and the Peter Safran story to begin. So many changes are apparently being made to this movie to kind of accompany that. I believe I heard somewhere that Gal Gadot was going to make an appearance. I think maybe Henry Cavill was going to make an appearance in this movie as well. Ben Affleck, I know, was kind of being tossed around as well, and then Michael Keaton was going to become the new Batman. From what I'm hearing, that's not really going to happen anymore, apparently, and instead this is going to kind of pave the way for the new DC universe to kind of follow here, which is, I think, a better use of that movie. And I heard this movie was, interestingly enough, was testing really high in test screenings, so that's also very interesting that it was such a very well-liked movie, and now they're going to completely, they're going to change some things about it. Hopefully it's still as good. I'm very excited. I'm kind of excited for the Flash movie now. I really am, because I want to see how it kind of restarts everything for paving the way for this new DCU universe here. Next is the Blue Beetle movie. Will supposedly be a part of the DCU, and Cholomar Kenyas, again, I'm probably butchering that name, I apologize. Blue Beetle has the opportunity to continue in the future of DCU. Amazing idea. I would love to see a Blue Beetle sequel, even though I haven't even seen the first Blue Beetle. I like the character overall. I mean, I know him predominantly from Batman Brave and the Bold, and a little bit from Injustice 2 as well, the NetherRealm game. So I for sure know about Blue Beetle, and I do like his character a lot, and I think the actor that they chose is perfect for Blue Beetle. I mean, I know him from Cobra Kai, so that's kind of how I know him, but or know of him. I don't know him personally, but I know of him. So I would love to see Blue Beetle continue. I'd love to see him be like a part of a Teen Titans, hopefully in the future. That would be really cool. You know, have like a Teen Titans movie with Blue Beetle included. I don't know. There's so many things they could do with this. I'm very excited. But yeah, Blue Beetle. Then Zachary Levi's Shazam will supposedly continue in the DCU. I heard Zachary Levi being thrown around as a character who might continue in the DCU. I don't know if that's for certain or not, because there's, so many things that have kind of been thrown up in the air right now, just because there's so much going on at once, and I can't take it all in at once. There's so much happening. But yeah, Shazam will supposedly continue in the DCU in the future. Jason Momoa's Aquaman will also continue in the future of the DCEU. This made sense to me. I don't know. There was an Instagram video that Jason Momoa made, I think, where he was kind of like walking out of the WB studios and was like celebrating, probably because he didn't get fired, was my guess. And I didn't actually know if that means he got the role as Lobo or if that meant he got the role, or he's staying with Aquaman. And it sounds like he would be staying with Aquaman, I think. I mean, maybe he can play both, but I don't know. I think I prefer him just to stay as Aquaman, even though him as Lobo I think would be amazing. Keep him as Aquaman. He's a pretty cool Aquaman. His movies were cool. Or his movie, we don't know about the second one yet. The second one actually might lead into the new Superman movie that they're making, but that's a whole topic for another time. Anyways, then also the Suicide Squad storylines will seemingly continue in the DCU, i.e. Peacemaker Season 2. They're going to be doing a new Suicide Squad show, or a related show, rather, that I'll talk about later. Stuff like that. So, of course, we have the first Suicide Squad 2021 movie. I don't really count the 2016 movie as a movie at all anymore, because it's an awful movie. But the 2021 Suicide Squad movie started this kind of like Suicide Squad storyline. Then it went into Peacemaker Season 1, which was a great show. Love that show. And now this new show, which I'll talk about later in the show section. You can skip to that if you want. But this new show will kind of continue that storyline, it sounds like, a little bit. And then Peacemaker Season 2 will also happen probably later down the line. Way later down the line, I'd figure. But yeah, the point is, the Suicide Squad storylines are going to be continuing in the new DC universe, which is very exciting. Can't wait to see everything that they do with the Suicide Squad storylines. I like all the characters in there, so I'm very excited to see what they do. Next up, we have Part 3, which will be DC Elseworlds projects. I want to kind of make this its own separate section, because I kind of want to explain this a little bit more, go into a little bit more detail for anybody who may be confused. So, how I'm understanding it is, the DCU, which would be like this original DC universe that James Gunn and Peter Safran are building here, which consists of 5 movies and 5 TV shows that they've announced for phase, or for Part 1, Chapter 1, will be like on its own continuous storyline, and they'll have its own thing. But all of these other people who have already started making movies for DC, that were supposed to be a part of, or not a part of the DCEU, but just kind of movies that Warner Bros. Wanted to make, are going to be considered Elseworlds projects. And for instance, the Batman Part 2, which was announced with a release date of October 3rd, 2025, nothing else directly known about the movie at this time. Currently, I mean, I suppose Robert Pattinson's going to return as Batman, because of course, why not? I'd figure the Penguin's going to be in it. I'd figure Selena Kyle, but nothing is directly confirmed yet about that movie. But that won't be a part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, DCU plan. Instead, that'll be its own thing. It will stay in its own universe, and it'll be considered an Elseworld project. And I wonder if it's going to be like branded that way. I wonder when the branding for the Batman Part 2 starts releasing will be branded under like DC Elseworlds Projects Presents or something like that. The Batman Part 2. Another project that'll be considered an Elseworld project is I believe it's a Val Zod Superman movie that is kind of being thrown around. I mean, I know this was thrown around a little bit before with, I believe, Michael B. Jordan as the Val-Zod Superman. And this will also be an Elseworld movie. So this kind of somewhat confirms that the movie is happening, I guess you could say, which is exciting. And yeah, so that's exciting. A new Val-Zod Superman movie, or not new, but a Val-Zod Superman movie, sounding like it's going to be Michael B. Jordan who will be playing him, and that is going to also be an Elseworlds project, which is just another project, outside of this main storyline that James Gunn and Peter Safran are building. Another project, another DC Elseworlds project, is going to be Joker 2, or Joker Folia de, or whatever it is, which will release on October 4th, 2024, which was previous news that we had gotten that it was going to release at that time. And it'll be considered an Elseworld movie, so that's going to be very exciting to see. I'm excited. I mean, I don't think it needed a sequel, but I'm excited to see what they do with it, I guess. But yeah, that's an Elseworld project. It's not a part of the main storyline that, again, James Gunn and Peter Safran are building here. And then another one that was just kind of mentioned as well, that I was reading about, is that Cartoon Network's Teen Titans Go show will continue as an Elseworlds show, basically. Which is also kind of funny in a way. I don't know, it's weird. It's like not going to be a part of anything. It's going to be an Elseworlds project about Teen Titans, and it's just like a Cartoon Network kids show. Kind of weird. But anyways, those are all the current DC Elseworlds projects that they are that they have in the pipeline currently. And I wonder if they're going to do any more. Like, I wonder if they're just going to try and have this burn out once, like the Batman, trilogy. I figured the Batman's going to be getting a trilogy. So like the, Batman Part 1, Batman Part 2, Batman Part 3, and then that's it. I wonder if they're going to try and stop Todd Phillips after that. And then same thing with Joker, they're just going to do a sequel, and that's it from what I believe. I hope they don't do a trilogy, because I already didn't really want a sequel, but, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, Matt Reeves, sorry, Matt Reeves is Batman. Sorry, not Todd Phillips. I think Todd Phillips is doing Joker. I could have those mixed up, but you get the point. I wonder if they're going to try and just kind of cut out all the Elseworld projects once these projects are done, or are they going to actually, if directors just kind of come up to James Gunn and say, hey, can I make a DC movie? And James Gunn's like, yeah, sure, but it can't be a part of our main storyline. You can just have it as an Elseworlds project. It's actually a really good way that they kind of set that up. I like how they did that, because that leaves the room for just random directors to come in and say if they want to make a DC movie, they can make it an Elseworlds project. I like that. That's good. Okay, anyways, that's the Elseworld project section. I just want to talk about that very quickly. And now we'll be getting into Part 4, which will be the 5 TV shows that are set in this Phase 1 slate here. Part 4, 5 TV shows. Let's get into some of the projects that they announced and revealed. I'll give my thoughts on them. I'll kind of give a brief rundown of what the show has been rumored to, or not rumored, but has been kind of said to be about. Again, we don't know a lot of information just because this is just announcements of what's coming, not like any cast lists or anything like that, but there is a little bit to kind of work off of. So, 5 TV shows in no random order. Here we are. Starting with number 1 is Waller. This is set in between Peacemaker seasons 1 and 2, and will most likely include Peacemaker characters, presumably Suicide Squad characters as well. So I figure John Economist is going to be there, Amelia Harcourt's going to be there, maybe we see Peacemaker, maybe we see Bloodsport, Ratcatcher 2, King Shark. That'd be kind of cool if we see that in a Waller show, but there's no direct plot line that is known about the show yet. Again, most of these shows we don't really know a lot about, but there's just a little bit that we can kind of know about. And it will star Viola Davis. It'll be about Amanda Waller. Again, we don't know exactly what the story is going to be about. I figure the story is going to be about her trying to defend against the claims that were made in Peacemaker Season 1 from her daughter. If you watch Peacemaker Season 1, spoilers for that. Go watch it because it's going to be important for this storyline. But this is going to be a part of that Suicide Squad storyline kind of section of this DC universe here. My thoughts, some Suicide Squad related projects was expected because that's, James Gunn's things, basically. He kind of did the Suicide Squad before he became the head of DC, basically. Or co-head, rather. So I'm good with this show. I mean, it sounds like it would be like Peacemaker Season 1.5, I kind of said. And I also kind of compared it to how there was The Mandalorian and then there was Book of Boba Fett. Peacemaker's The Mandalorian and then this show is the Book of Boba Fett. I kind of compared it that way. But regardless, I'm excited for it. I mean, I like the Suicide Squad storylines and where it's heading now. I mean, we only have that first movie and then Peacemaker Season 1, but I think what they did with Peacemaker was pretty great. I mean, I really love that show, and I can't wait for Season 2, and now we're going to have even more content to go off of for Peacemaker Season 2. They could completely flip the script with this show, and Of course, Viola Davis's Amanda Waller is very good casting, and amazing Amanda Waller actress. So I'm excited for this show. I'm pretty excited for this show. Next up is Booster Gold, number 2 here. It is supposedly going to be a comedy series which follows Booster Gold with superhero imposter syndrome, is what I read about. Okay, that sounds interesting, I guess. My thoughts here. I like Booster Gold. He's fine. I'm not crazy about him. I don't have that much of a connection, but, when I see him on projects, I'm like, okay. He was in Batman Brave and the Bold and a few other shows that were, interesting to see him in, but a solo live-action series about him, I don't know. I'm not crazy excited about it overall. Not as much as some other shows that are coming up and other movies here. Like, this is probably a little bit lower on my list here. But I'm sure it'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll be funny. I don't know enough about the character to make a concrete opinion on it. I'm not a big Booster Gold fan, but he's cool. But I'm fine with Booster Gold as a character. So this show just sounds pretty fine. It sounds fine. And a comedy series, that's a good idea. I mean, I kind of hope it's like a trippy kind of comedy series. I don't know. I kind of thought about that, but it probably won't be, just because it's Booster Gold and he's going to be going through superhero imposter syndrome. Whatever that exactly means. I don't know exactly what that means. I just read it somewhere. But, yeah. Sounds interesting. Sounds like an interesting show. Not my favorite, though. Next up is Paradise Lost. I'm very excited for this show. So this is going to be a show set on Themyscira, where Wonder Woman was born. And it's apparently going to be a Game of Thrones type show centered around building the Amazon island Themyscira. And supposedly will be set before the birth of Wonder Woman. So this flat out, my thoughts, love this idea. I actually recently just finished watching Game of Thrones. So basically, after just watching Game of Thrones, after watching House of the Dragon, in a couple of years' time, or however long, I'm going to be seeing a DCU or DC version of Game of Thrones show. That is amazing. That is so amazing to me. I would presume the first season would end with the birth of Wonder Woman. That's kind of how I think the big ending of the show is going to be, is like Wonder Woman is born. And then maybe for a season 2, kind of follow a younger Wonder Woman growing up on Themyscira and learning from people around her. Then at the end of season 2, she would leave to go to see the rest of the world of man, I guess. I don't know, just some thoughts that when I heard about this show, I was immediately like, oh man, there's so much they could do here. But regardless, DCU, Game of Thrones, amazing idea. Cannot wait. I can't wait to see like a bunch of different factions and kingdoms and like wars between the kingdoms and people betraying each other. Like that's what I think about when I hear Game of Thrones. I don't know if it would exactly be like that, but when I hear Game of Thrones, I kind of think about that a little bit. But yeah, very excited for this show. This show is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. Next up is Lanterns, another show I'm super excited for, but it's a Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart Green Lantern detective show. Amazing. First off, amazing idea. My thoughts, another amazing idea. Just learning about Paradise Lost, I was like, that's incredible. Then learning about Lanterns, I'm like, that's even more incredible. A detective murder mystery show, presumably, on Oa, which is where Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are, because they're Green Lanterns. Again, presumably, we don't know if this is for certain. These are just my thoughts here. And other Lantern planets sound amazing. So you could go to Oa, you could go to, I forget what all the planets are. I used to know what they were named because of Lego Batman 3, but I don't remember them anymore. I don't know. The Atrocitus's planet, the Red Lantern planet, Yellow Lantern planet, Blue Lantern, Indigo Lantern, Pink Lantern, like all those planets, I would love to see in this show. I mean, it's gonna be a high budget show, but anyways, I hope we get to see all the different Lantern planets and hopefully all the prominent Lantern heroes and villains like Atrocitus, Sinestro, Saint Walker, Kilowog, Star Sapphire, Indigo One, all those characters, all those classic Lantern characters, I would absolutely love to see in this show, and I feel like this show could be amazing. We'd love to see a story where a Yellow Lantern kills a Green Lantern, and that causes like the Lantern Corps to kind of be at odds with each other, to become enemies slowly, and it develops from there, starting like a Lantern war kind of thing. I know there's just kind of some thoughts that were running through my head, like, for instance, like let's just say a Yellow Lantern killed a prominent Green Lantern, and then, the Yellow Lantern and the Green Lanterns are kind of at odds here. They're kind of starting to fight, and then, maybe some other things happen, and like the Red Lanterns are like, man, yeah, the Yellow Lanterns are kind of right here in this situation, and then the Green Lanterns are talking with the Blue Lantern, like, you know what I mean? Just, it kind of establishes how the Lantern Corps became separated and how they all started to kind of fight each other or be at odds with each other. So I'm super excited for this project. I think it's going to be amazing. There have been so many rumors and talks about a Green Lantern TV show for so long, and it sounds like it is finally happening. Very excited. The final show on the list here is called Creature Commandos. It is the only animated TV show project of Phase 1 currently written by James Gunn and is going to be 7 episodes from what I read. So the Creature Commandos are a team of kind of wacky creature characters who join up in a team started by Amanda Waller, apparently. So my thoughts started running with this one when it talked about Amanda Waller and a lot of things. So I might be talking about Creature Commandos for a quick minute here. So first off, my thoughts. Never really heard of these characters before. Sounds like a pretty cool idea. I wonder if this will all tie into the Amanda Waller series or will pick up where the Weasel credit scene from Suicide Squad ended. So if you don't remember from Suicide Squad 2021, there was an end credit scene which revealed that Weasel actually survived. He didn't die first. He survived the drowning, and he's going to be an animated character in this series. He's going to be in the show. So I wonder if that's where it's going to pick up from. And then Amanda Waller kind of like finds Weasel's still alive. Is like, all right, well, yeah, you can just join this team that I'm putting together because, the Suicide Squad's kind of disbanded. They kind of, ran away from me. So now I got to create this new team to go out and do some crazy stuff. And that's what this show will kind of follow is like all this Creature Commandos team just doing some crazy, wacky stuff. I mean, I remember seeing the picture. There was like Dr. Phosphorus on there. I think it was the Bride of Frankenstein, Weasel, Rick Flag Sr. or something like that. It said on a caption, and a few other characters in there on that little screenshot that we got. But very excited, first off. And I think this could be really cool to continue this Suicide Squad storyline. And I'm even thinking, like, what if they kind of set up the Amanda Waller show, and then the Creature Commandos are taken from animation, brought into live action as, like, the characters that need to go after Peacemaker in Season 2, because all the government secrets were revealed by Amanda Waller's daughter in Season 1. So there's just so much going on here, but I think it could all work. I think it can all kind of intertwine that way. It'd be very cool to see. So I like that this is animated, and there are for sure some interesting characters that are part of the team in the comics, so I'm very excited to see them play out in this animated form. And the animation style, or at least the screenshot that they showed, looked kind of like looked like the Invincible animation too, and I like that animation style for animated comic book shows. So I'm very excited for this show. Very, very excited. I'm excited for all these shows, to be honest with you, because Booster Gold, whatever, but I'm still excited for it. I think all these shows are gonna be great. I'm so happy that these are happening. I'm gonna for sure watch every single one of them. I'm definitely gonna have to renew my HBO Max subscription for this stuff. So very excited. Very, very excited. Can't wait to see all these. Now let's get to the movies. 5 the movies. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. There's 5 movies, and they're all sounding amazing to me. So let's start off with the one that will begin it all, Superman Legacy. A non-origin Superman movie releasing July 11th, 2025, beginning Chapter 1 of the DCU, written by James Gunn, and supposedly ties into a future movie in this phase, which we'll talk about later. My thoughts, can't wait for another Superman movie with a new actor. I figure there will be, the typical kind of explaining the origins of Kal-El, but it won't directly focus on it. They're going to do like the thing where Krypton explodes, Superman or Kal-El comes to Earth, the Kent family raise him, the Kent family, grow him up, whatever, and he becomes Superman in the future, and that's where our story is going to kind of focus on, is Superman, during this time period as, the Man of Tomorrow, whatever his name is. I'm curious if Lobo will be the villain of this movie, just because of the recent, leaks and stuff like that. Or not leaks, but rumors and things like that, and talks about, and little hints that were given about Lobo maybe being a cool character to have in the DCU. I would love to see that, by the way. That'd be awesome. And, we'll probably see Lois Lane, the Kent family, etc. All those characters, and which are going to be great. I'm so excited for this movie. Can't wait for another really great Superman movie. I was a Man of Steel fan, and, I'm not sad that Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. I'm excited to see someone new. Here. So this movie was previously rumored, just because of just some things being thrown around, but I'm happy that we are officially getting confirmation information about the movie, which is great, and I can't wait for it to begin the phase 1 of the DCU. I think that's a great way to start with Superman, one of the most prominent characters in DC. So, sorry to clear my throat. I've been talking for a while here. I've been making a lot of videos today. Next movie, The Authority. Now, this is a movie about a team of superheroes from Wildstorm Comics, which apparently had associations with Jim Lee, I believe, that want to fix the world by any means necessary. And this apparently, or supposedly, from what I'm hearing, picks up where the Superman movie left off. That's kind of what's being thrown around, what I've been reading. So my thoughts, to be honest with you, I've never heard of The Authority. Don't know what it is, don't know who they are, but I'm very interested in a large team of superheroes who want to make the world right in any possible way. It gives me kind of like Eternals vibes, but I'm sure it will be kind of better than Eternals, because Eternals wasn't great. I'm very excited to see what happens here. I'm curious how it is supposedly connected to the Superman movie as well. But other than that, I really don't know much. I'm excited. I'm interested. I'm excited for all these projects. But to be honest with you, with The Authority, when it comes to The Authority movie, I don't know enough about these characters to make a concrete, oh yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait. This is going to be the best movie of all time. Whatever kind of thing. You get the point. You get the gist. Next movie I want to talk about here, Swamp Thing. This one's very interesting to me. This is apparently going to be a horror movie centered around the origins of the Swamp Thing character. This is very interesting. So, my thoughts here, I never watched the Swamp Thing television show, and it sounds like no one else really did because it ended very, very quickly. Although I heard it was good, but maybe I should go back and watch whatever they have for it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm excited for a superhero horror movie like this. I don't think we're ever really going to see something like this except for Brightburn, but that wasn't really a superhero movie necessarily. I think it could be really cool, especially with the possibility of it being R-rated because it's a horror movie. I don't know, it was kind of a thought that I was throwing around. I wonder if this is what they mean by R-rated movies. Swamp Thing will be an example of that. I'm worried about Swamp Thing's popularity as a character just because the show was cut so short. So I'm worried about this movie, not doing well, but I will for sure be watching it, just like all these projects. I think this is a really good idea. I bet you they could probably throw in some other cool characters related to, Swamp Thing's origins and the green. I'm thinking the Justice League Dark, maybe. We could see Keanu Reeves' Constantine return, maybe. Zatanna, Etrigan, all those kind of Justice League Dark characters would be amazing to see. Maybe Dr. Fate, that'd be kind of cool. And just kind of, this is how they build up the Swamp Thing character and his origins. And yeah, I'm very excited for this project. Very excited. I think it'd be a cool one, and I like Swamp Thing. So, next is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is also a very interesting movie here. A Supergirl movie based on the Tom King comic book as a sci-fi adventure, and it will supposedly depict a darker kind of Supergirl story where she kind of lives out on this rock on Krypton and then kind of supposedly flies to different planets to kind of explore them and just kind of do a sci-fi adventure, it sounds like, which is amazing. I love that idea. And apparently this comic book was super good. I just never read it. My thoughts, love this idea. Never read the comic book by Tom King, but it sounds cool from the little I do know about it. I can't wait to see Supergirl and Superman on screen together at some point. That's going to be awesome. And I'm hoping to see tons of cool planets in space, but, really that's all I can say about it. I haven't read the comic. I probably should now that I know that this movie's going to be based off that comic. I'm thinking that, they're going to go through this whole sci-fi adventure movie, and then at the end, they're going to do an end credit scene or ending moment where Supergirl finds Earth, lands on Earth, meets with Superman, and that's going to continue the Superman storyline. I think that would be kind of a really cool way to end this movie, but I like that we're getting both a Superman movie and a Supergirl movie in phase 1 or chapter 1 of this whole thing. It's very interesting. So, next is, oh man, this I'm excited for. This is easily, I think, my favorite project that has come out so far, and that is The Brave and the Bold. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Alright, so it's going to be a Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne Batman story introducing the Bat family to the DCU based on Grant Morrison's comic book with a new Batman actor. Oh my god, my thoughts run wild with this. This is amazing. Finally, a Batman and Robin live-action and legit movie. Not like the 1997 Batman and Robin movie with Chris O'Donnell Robin. That was kind of a silly Robin. So I'm excited for, a full-blown Robin and Batman, or Batman and Robin movie with, a very serious plotline, hopefully, and all these Bat family members. I would personally, I would have preferred a different Robin to choose, not Damian, but it sounds like we might be seeing, like maybe some Red Robin, Nightwing, maybe Red Hood even, etc. in the movie. So I guess I'm fine either way. I guess I'm fine. I'm good with that. It's just that Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. I like Dick Grayson. I like, Jason Todd. I like those Robins, not so much Damian, but regardless, I'm very interested. I'm very, very interested here. So, it sounds like, again, we might be seeing Nightwing and Red Hood and Red Robin anyways. So, very cool, very cool. I never read the comics by Grant Morrison. I hope the villain is League of Assassins. Again, I really do not know anything about these comics, and I'm so hyped for this movie. This movie is going to be amazing. I figure the villains are going to be the League of Assassins, like Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul kind of thing, just because that's usually, I would say a lot of Damian Wayne stories relate to the League of Assassins, so I figure that they are going to be the villains. And for Ra's al Ghul, getting a new casted Ra's al Ghul, I don't know. When I was thinking about this could be completely off, but when I was thinking about this, when I thought of like Ra's al Ghul, my mind immediately went to Mads Mikkelsen to play him. That might be kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. It's a little crazy. I don't know why, but for some weird reason, my mind went straight to Mads Mikkelsen to play Ra's al Ghul, which, again, kind of weird. Maybe not the best pick. But anyways, yeah, this is probably my favorite project from this lineup that was revealed just because it's Batman and Robin's story. I mean, how much better can you get here? That's incredible. I cannot wait for this project. This project is going to be so good. Very excited. But yeah, that's the 5 movies. That's the 5 shows and 5 movies that we went through in part 4 and part 5 here. Part 6, I want to talk about something that's very personal to me. So, you can skip this part if you want, if you're not interested. But for me, this is very important. This is very important for me. Part 6 here is going to be all about Lego. Now, if you're just here for the information about the DCU projects, that is mostly what I have there for you, those first 5 parts. There might be a little bit of talk at the end here in Part 7, but Part 6 is going to be all about how the DCU projects and Lego are going to be working hand in hand, because, of course, I'm mostly a Lego channel, so I want to talk about Lego. Very much so. Flat out, I'm just going to say right now, Lego needs to make sets on all of these projects, because this could easily set up the return for Lego DC Comics as a full-blown theme. I mean, it's just amazing. I like, there's so many projects here that could absolutely just re-kickstart Lego DC again. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I could see this Superman movie that's coming out in 2025 getting like 3 sets based off of it. Have like a $10 or $20 small set. Have like a mid-size set, like 40 to 50, 60 maybe. And then like just a giant $100 set with like the villain and like, oh my god. And it could just be based off the movie and a bunch of sets on the Brave and the Bold movie. Oh my god. All those versions of the Bat family characters are going to be amazing. Ra's al Ghul, again, presumably the villain, I would think. Oh my god, it should be amazing. Some of the shows could maybe get 1 set each, I'm thinking, for the DC Studios, or, for Lego. Just get like 1 set based off the Waller show, whatever kind of prominent scene from that show. 1 set kind of based off the Booster Gold show. Or, another idea. What if they did a DC Studios minifigure series just like they do with the Marvel Disney Plus shows? Matter of fact, we're going to be getting a Marvel Disney Plus show minifigure series 2 this year, 2023, apparently. So that's the rumors being thrown around here. So I mean, if they're doing it with Marvel Disney Plus shows, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do it with HBO Max DC shows and just kind of do like characters from the 5 television shows in this first phase here. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. I think that'd be an amazing idea. That's just, my personal thoughts there. Fingers crossed, Lego actually follows through with this idea, and this is how the theme will continue. The DC theme will continue. Hopefully, if it means that we'll stop getting original Lego DC set ideas, that's fine with me. As long as we would be getting these sets off of all these projects, Elseworld projects, or DCU projects. So if Lego decides that they're going to stop making like original DC sets that just come from their own designers, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But as long as you're making sets off like DC properties and DC projects, you got me. I'm all in. Like at this point, I'm so all in with all this stuff here. So I'll be making another video regarding the Lego DC game and how it's going to relate to these DC Studios projects. That video is going to be coming up in a couple days, I think, according to my new schedule that I just released. If you didn't see that post, that community post, I made a community post on the channel talking about the video schedule for the week. I'm going to be posting every day up until Sunday of this week, because there's just so much news that I didn't want to miss anything, and I want to just kind of give it all to you guys. So there you have it. That is what's happening. On top of that, recently, I'm recording this on Wednesday, so, the day after all this news came out, and yesterday, when all this DCU news came out, they also announced, or not announced, but there have been heavy rumors and basically confirmation at this point that Lego Batman, the theme, will be returning with a multi-set wave. I made a video on this. That video is coming out tomorrow, I believe, which will be Thursday. So go check that video out. It's going to be all about that stuff. It's going to be a quick discussion video, but I also want to kind of mention it here. There's some stuff. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. There's some stuff that could, this is helping to prove that these this DCU Lego sets might be happening here. Anyways, that's for that video. That's not for this video. I'm here just to kind of talk about what my thoughts would be for the DCU Lego sets, basically. And yeah, there you all have it. That is all my my Lego ideas for this DCU Lego. If you're watching this, you're absolutely not. But if you are, please make sets. I need this. I need these sets. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I really am. I can't stop getting excited about this. But yeah, that's it there. Let me go to the final thoughts and kind of out and wrap this video up because it's kind of long. So I've been recording for a little while now. Alrighty, so let me just kind of get my final thoughts in here and, kind of wrap this video up here in part 7. Final thoughts. I love all this news. I mean, I know I've been hearing some mixed opinions. I've been hearing some people really hating this, that they're kind of bringing in some actors from previous DC movies just because they think that it should be completely restarted. People just don't want to watch this stuff. And, that's all fine. That's everybody has their own opinion. But for me, I'm personally just a giant fan of DC, as, again, if you've watched my videos before, you'll probably already know. I'm just a huge fan of what these, of DC, and I'm so excited to see what these projects are going to be about. And I'm not really paying attention to the mixed opinions and the opinions that, that don't really like what's happening with DC. But for me, I'm really all in. This is the most excited I've been about a DC movie in for so long, or any kind of DC movie properties for a long, long time here. So I'm so excited. I just can't believe that there's all of this stuff, and there's so much potential for the future of the DCU here. And yeah, I can't wait for future phases. I mean, oh my god, if this is only phase 1, think about what phase 2 is going to be looking like. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm super excited. This is some of the best news I've heard in a long time. Like this is there have been news that has come out that I've been like excited for, but not to the level of this. This just gets me so excited. So anyways, I just want to kind of give my final thoughts and wrap this video up. It's been going on long enough. My voice is I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit because I've been recording so much, because there's so much coming out and there's so many videos I want to make. So yeah, there you have it. If you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. I mean, we're getting so many subscribers these days. I'm so happy, and so many views these days. I'm so excited for a small channel like mine, of course. But yeah, so I'll see you guys later. See ya.